Good afternoon. I'm seeing a lot of red and orange on my screen, which isn't ideal, but if I'm honest, I think I'm probably in a better position than quite a lot of people. It's not a chip week. I think I'm doing alright. I'm going to take these off now. So yeah, how is everyone else doing? Yeah, it's quite a... Do you know what? I'm going to quickly move this screen over to Twitter because we've got the list of current injuries that I have seen so far. And I'm considering myself quite lucky that there's only 3 people in my team that are flagged. Sparta, hello. Joe, how's things? John. Mohammed. Yeah, it's a tough week. It's kind of, I suppose that's what you expect coming back from an international break. But yeah, a lot to talk about. I imagine we're going to have quite a lot of questions. The thing is as well, right, see with the clean sheet odds this week, Napoli's the big team to target. They've got so many injuries. I suppose in defence they're not like that bad, but you know, Karabag have been quite decent, and Napoli haven't been the best defensively, so it's kind of a dodgy one. And then Real Madrid have one fit centre back right now, and they're one of the top teams. So even if you are looking to use a Limitless this week, you're kind of just gonna have to gamble on, you know, smaller teams and just go hugely differential this week because there's not really any good available players at the minute. Pedro, hello. How are we doing? The thing with the Limitless as well, like, I know a lot of people probably have like Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi, and are looking to use the Limitless because of that. The only problem is with like those 3 look as though they could miss match day 6 as well, which obviously isn't going to be ideal when you're going to Limitless and come back to them injured anyway. So I wouldn't really consider them. The likes of Osimhen, I don't know about Hodgson. His injury just kind of came about today. Osimhen, Courtois, Mastantuano, Yildiz, Gordon, like those kind of players will probably be back for match day 6, but if you kind of got like Gabriel, Dumfries and Hakimi, then a Limitless probably isn't going to be the best thing. Sito, I've got a Limitless draft on my channel, if you want to go and watch that. There's a full guide and everything, which should help you out. I do think Karabag could cause an upset as well, to be fair. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm still going to back the odds. Obviously, I've still got a few Napoli players in my team. Still happy to back it. But yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if they didn't do too well this week. How would I update my Limitless draft? I can't really remember. I'm trying to remember who it was. That was like 3 days ago now that I made that. I can't remember who was in it. Best City defender who will be nailed. Probably Vardiol. There's a few people, obviously, like I think O'Reilly looks like great value and he has been starting in the Premier League and stuff. The only issue is with Ait Nouri back, I think maybe for match day 6, you know, there's a chance he plays. You know, we obviously see it with like Calafiore and Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly gets the nod in a lot of the Champions League games. It could be the same with Aït-Nouri, with O'Reilly playing in the Premier League. Obviously Aït-Nouri's going to go to AFCON, so he might miss match day 7 and 8, so that'll be fine. Yeah, so it depends. O'Reilly could be good. I'd just be wary about match day 6 in case Aït-Nouri gets that start ahead of him. But then at the end of the day, that's Real Madrid in that match, so you could always keep him through that. Trincao and Kenda, good picks. Trincao, yes. I've not really had a look too much into... Oh, I spilled something. I've not really had a look too much into Sporting to see if Kenda's still getting the game time. I'll have a look at some point, though. Want to see your updated one considering Courtois. So, Courtois, Osimhen, and Yildiz. Okay. So instead of Osimhen, you could just go for Icardi. I think my 2 favourite strikers this week are, like, in terms of big differentials, would be Jordan Larson, who I think was already in it. Or was he? Maybe. I don't know. Jordan Larson would be one of my picks. Or Icardi, and just go for the straight swap with Osimhen. And for the goalkeeper... Who's got the high? I guess you could just... No, it's second day in it. We need a second day goalkeeper. Probably just Alisson. Liverpool clean sheet odds are quite nice this week. Could go for Alisson instead of Courtois. And then Yildiz, a replacement midfielder. You could look at... I think Foden was already in it. I think I might have put Yamal in it. He could be a decent one. Kvaratskhelia, I can't remember if I put him in. I think I might have put Kvaratskhelia in with Vitinha already. I think I've got Salah in there already. Yeah, I probably just maybe like gamble on a Bellingham or something like that. You can kind of throw out whoever. I honestly don't think there's that many standout options this week, which is why I think if you're limitless, then you know, gambling on a lot of differentials is just going to be the play. I'm going to switch this back to my transfer section. Any information about Arsenal? I don't have anything yet. Unfortunately, with the English teams, there's just never really any predicted lineups. Does City play on... I don't know if City play on Wednesday, then you could go with Donnarumma as well. Oh no, City play on Tuesday. Or you could go for the PSG goalie, but I don't really know if I like that too much either. Or even with Courtois, you could just go for Lunin instead, but again, they've only got one fit centre-back, so I don't really know how good that defence is going to be, and whether the clean sheet odds are just kind of, you know, a little bit skewed. Sebastian, 12.6 mil. Would you do Dumfries and Paxio out to Mendes and Yilmaz? Yeah, it looks like good moves. Quite like them. Any idea on a Serbi? There's not been anything yet. Usually the Inter stuff comes out on the day of the game, which is unfortunately tomorrow. But if I see anything, obviously we'll point it out. Aside from Nuno Mendes, which defender do you like the most? I think Buongiorno is one of the best value defenders in the game. Obviously Napoli overall haven't been great defensively, but he's only 3.8 million. You can't really go wrong. I think someone from the Arsenal defence is obviously going to be really nice. I think Upamecano after this week is going to be fantastic. I'm tempted to go for him myself and just go early, even though they're playing against Arsenal. Is Yildiz out? Why are we replacing him? Sky Sports Italy has him on the bench. They're usually quite good for predicted lineups. But it does seem to just be a rest, so there's no like injury with him. Any idea about City lineup? I can try and find something. I don't know if City Extra would have posted that yet. There we go. There we go. Predicted lineup for Man City. Has Foden starting, O'Reilly starting, Donnarumma, Reinders, Haaland. Yeah. Oh no, Vardy's supposed to be in the bench actually. There you go. So there's. I mean, I don't know how reliable this is, of course, but this one has Vardy on the bench. Interesting. Jeez, this week looks horrendous. Oh my god, what is that for an advert? Yeah, Vardy on the bench, predicted. With Osimhen out, I think it will be Yilmaz as the penalty taker, yeah. Because of Courtois' injury, I've brought in the Paphos goalkeeper alongside De Gregorio. Interesting. Paphos, I don't know what it is about Paphos, but the defenders are getting so many points. For Sporting, Suarez will start / get 90. I think he starts. Get 90 minutes, obviously, I've got no idea. But yeah, he probably should start in that match. Adeyemi, I don't think I've really seen much on Dortmund. Adeyemi's always a hit and miss. Like, sometimes he starts, sometimes he doesn't. Let me see. Dortmund's another one. There's never really that many like reliable predicted lineups. Yeah, nothing really coming from this account. Hi Bobby, are you keeping Gordon? I'm going to keep him, yeah. I think it's kind of like tough. I don't want to take another -4. He probably comes off the bench this week. If I go on his fixtures, Leverkusen away is not bad, and PSV at home, I'd want him for those fixtures. So yeah, I'm just going to keep him. Hope he starts. I doubt he starts, but hopefully he comes off the bench and I can keep him. I don't think he's -4 worthy, personally. Obviously my 2 transfers are going to be here. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And I also don't think there's that many great midfielders to replace him either. So yeah, I'm going to keep him this week, and hope that all goes well, and he starts, or at least comes off the bench for a decent enough cameo. Is Barcola starting? Barcola should start, yeah. I think it's going to be, if I'm being honest, I think the front 3 this week's going to be Kvaratskhelia, Kang and Lee, and Barcola. I think Dembele will be in the bench. Eight Nouri on Limitless. I don't believe City predicted lineups. If Eight Nouri starts, he's obviously a great pick, but there's really it's so difficult to try and work out what's Pep's gonna do. But if you want to gamble that he does start, I think he'll be a great pick if we knew he did start. Is Kane, Mbappe, and Haaland and Yamal team workable? That's kind of, I think I had that like a few weeks ago before I took Kane out. So I think so. Especially now, the fact that all the premium defenders are kind of injured, you can go cheaper in defence. We're taking a -4 if we have Gabriel, Dumfries and Yildiz. I wouldn't take Yildiz out this week. Obviously, Sky Sports doesn't predict him to start. Either way, I'd take him off the bench. And obviously, he's one of the best value picks going forward. Juventus having the best fixtures. I would definitely want him for especially Paphos next week at home, then Benfica at home. I definitely wouldn't be taking Yildiz out. He's predicted not to start. He's not injured though. So yeah, I think he's definitely the number 1 pick out of all the like doubtful players that I would definitely keep. Not looking to buy Sporting, but after dealing with injured defenders, I've got one free transfer to replace either Suarez or Perisic. I think I'd rather replace Perisic. Suarez has quite nice goal scoring odds this week. Mayulu probably won't start this week. Kenda on Limitless, right? I've had a few questions about Kenda, so I'm going to have a quick look and see if he's been starting recently. So he got no minutes in the cup. 33, 67. I mean, he's came off the bench quite a lot, and he's been subbed quite a lot. I probably wouldn't go for Kenda if I'm honest this week. You know, 18th of October was the last time he played, you know, over 70 minutes. So this is international. So bench, subbed early, bench, subbed early, bench, subbed early. Yeah, I don't think I would touch Kenda this week if I'm honest. Predicted lineups for Inter aren't out yet, unfortunately. Do you think you'll switch to the Limitless this week with all these injuries, doubts? No, I'm not gonna worry about anything. I feel like I'm in a pretty lucky position to only have 3 doubts in my team. So I think a lot of people are going to be taking hits, and I'm just going to keep what I'm at. Take out Gabriel, take out Dumfries, and then go from there. I've already took 2 hits, I think, this season, so I'm going to try my best and limit myself and not take any hits this week. For Limitless, would you prioritise it on weeks where big teams have easy fixtures to maximise your points there, or use it when you have a ton of injuries like this week? It's just all team dependent. Like, I planned on using my Limitless anyway this week, but that was to avoid my players having tough fixtures rather than target easier fixtures. Obviously, targeting easier fixtures, you can easily go for, you know, some of the, you know, the big scores and stuff like that, but it's just whatever week suits your team at the end of the day. If you have a lot of short-term injuries this week, then the Limitless looks good, but if you've got some longer-term injuries like Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi, who could be out for 2 match days, then I would just maybe look at using transfers so you don't have to come back to it in match day 6 with all the same injuries. Surely Merino is benched and need to sell him. I think Merino will be expected to start. Gyökeres is still a doubt. I seen Gabriel Jesus was back in training, but I doubt he will be starting. Odegaard's back for Arsenal, but I would imagine Merino's still going to be the striker tonight, which if you brought in Merino last week, then you absolutely smashed it, obviously with his 16-pointer. And you're getting another start out of him, which is ideal. What do I think about Rashford? He picked up an injury, was a doubt. I think he's been cleared, but he's still only in 2 out of 4 predicted lineups that I've seen, so I don't think Rashford looks too great. Obviously taking up a striker spot as well. Is Carreras predicted to start? As far as I'm aware, yes. I've not seen any Real Madrid lineups though. Thoughts on Sané? Sané looks good. I think I prefer Yilmaz because he's cheaper and he's on penalties. Well, at least he should be on penalties. I'll show you what I've seen so far on that. Galatasaray penalty taker. So Osimhen is obviously the normal penalty taker majority of the time. But before that, whenever he wasn't playing, it was Yilmaz. So Yilmaz should be the penalty taker with Osimhen not playing today. Any Juventus defenders worth it? I think Kelly done quite well before he got injured. I'll have a look at Kelly. The predicted team has, I can't remember who the other guy is, but it's got Cook Miners playing at centre back. I think he might be listed as a midfielder in this game as well. So Kelly got 7 ball recoveries in match day 1 and match day 2, and then 3 in match day 3, and then he didn't play in match day 4. So I suppose Kelly could be decent. He scored in match day 1, got an assist in match day 2, if you're looking for someone. Cambiasso as well is another one who's pretty much nailed on every single week. 4.9 million. He's not been great so far. 90 minutes. Juventus have conceded quite a lot of goals. Ball recoveries aren't great, but you'd be picking him up in the hopes of an attack and return. Thinking in Jean Garcia for Courtois. Yeah, with him being back, that's nice, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea scored this week. Obviously playing at home. Chances that Kenda starts, I doubt it. Oh, I mean, if he does start, then he'll probably get subbed quite early. I don't want to say that, and then he starts and does really well before getting subbed. Obviously, that's something you need to consider, but if he does start, you've got to remember that it's probably going to only be like 60 minutes that he plays. Thinking about Pavlidis. Pavlidis looks nice. Ajax are like dire this season, but I think there is better options. Debating Højlund and Guirassy, both have great upcoming fixtures. Yeah, both look fantastic. I suppose it depends on your money. I've got Højlund in my team. It frees up a lot of budget. Hodgson replacement in my wild card. Hodgson replacement in my wild card. Hodgson replacement in my wild card. Someone from Newcastle looks decent. Dortmund defenders look decent. Napoli defenders. You could go Bayern early. Icardi will play for Galatasaray and he's the penalty taker. Interesting. Is this the perfect match day for Calafiori in defence? I don't know. I think Calafiori's a tough one to always choose because Lewis Skelly has been getting Champions League minutes. I think you could go for like, I don't know. It's a hard one. I think I would just go for Timber. I'll say that, and then Ben White will start. But you've got Nkapi there at 4.9 million as well. I think Calafiori's always going to be a really good option, cheap in the Arsenal defence. But again, he's not started in 3 matches so far, so it's kind of hard to pick him. Man City lineup we've seen already. Vardyol's predicted on the bench alongside Aït-Nouri. Everyone else should be starting. I might still have it up. Yeah. So that's your Man City predicted lineup if anyone is looking for it. Limitless, Guirassy or Larsson. I'm a huge fan of Larsson this week. So I would take the gamble and go for Larsson personally. Obviously it depends how much you want to risk that yourself. A lot more people are going to have Guirassy, but I really like Larsson for this week. What about Greenwood? The Marseille attack's one of the worst attacks in the tournament so far. I'm not the biggest fan, and Newcastle are one of the better defences as well, so I don't really like really any Marseille attackers, especially for this week. How many points do I think I'll get in round 5? Hopefully triple digits. FPL Tom, hello. Good to see you. Good to how's your team looking, Tom? What's the plans for this week? Are we using a chip? Is Di Lorenzo in the predicted lineup? He is. I've got it somewhere. Yeah. Milinkovic-Savic, Bukema, Romani, Buongiorno, Di Lorenzo, Lobotka, McTominay, Oliveira, Politano, Neres, and Højlund. Get I don't know how much Oliveira is for those on a Limitless this week if you're looking for a 1 week punt, but both Gutierrez and Spinazzola are injured at left back. Oliveira's 3.8 million. Not that that really helps going for a cheap value player on a Limitless, but just in case. Out of chips, looking at a -4. I think a lot of people are going to be in that same kind of category, to be honest with you. A lot of hits, I think, going to be taken this week. If Vardyol is out, who's the best City defender? Reluctantly, it's probably O'Reilly. I think you know O'Reilly's going to play in matchday 7 and matchday 8, or at least unless Vardyol gets moved to left back. But with 8 Nouri at AFCON, you know he's probably playing 7 and 8. So it's just whether he plays 5 and 6 with 8 Nouri potentially coming in. It's quite a tough one to predict. So you could just play safe and go for like a Ruben Diaz. Going Di Lorenzo, Kelly and Alvarez. Alvarez is a rogue shout. I like Kelly, I like Di Lorenzo. I need to check Atletico's. Oh yeah, Atletico have really good fixtures going forward now, don't they? PSV, Galatasaray and Bodo, yeah, fair enough. And I think after Kairat scored against Inter last week, I'd be confident that Alvarez could do something as well this week. Nice. I think it'll be a big differential for you as well. I'm raging that I brought in Dumfries for a -4 last week and he got 2 points. And now I have to take him out. But to be fair, the alternative was going Hakimi, and he's the exact same. I hate Kvara and Limitless, but Spurs are bad. Do you think Foden's a better pick? I personally would go for Kvaratskhelia, but I also quite like Foden this week as well. I'm not using Limitless this week, Lucas, no. I would be keeping Yildiz. Obviously, we don't know he's out for sure. Sky Sports have him not starting this week. I'd be keeping him. I wouldn't be making it. There's too many injuries this week going around, and you definitely would want Yildiz going forward. So yeah, I'd be keeping Yildiz and hoping that he starts. Is Esteval a playable option? Chelsea's fixtures are kind of getting worse. You know, they started the tournament really well. But obviously with Barca this week, I think they're down quite low in terms of, you know, good fixtures going forward. Atalanta away, Paphos at home is probably the only week. I probably wouldn't choose Esteval, if I'm honest. I have Greenwood and I'm out of transfers, so is it worth it to go minus? No, I wouldn't take him out for a -4. Best defender for the next 2 match days. Nuno Mendes. Yeah. Might be worth it to have a Limitless template up on screen. Yeah, that's a fair point. I can do that. Let's make a Limitless team. I would still have these guys. I'll start from scratch. Defenders. I would go. I need my clean sheet odds. City. I'm trying to think. I'm under pressure now. Nuno Mendes in defence. I would go Kvaratskhelia as well. I probably would pick Vitinha. Who else do I want this week? Do you know what? I'm gonna throw it out there that I would really like to pick Jordan Larson on a Limitless. Real Madrid looking decent. I suppose I would pick maybe gamble on a Jude Bellingham this week. Liverpool. Probably pick a Van Dijk in there rather than an attacker. PSG Dortmund defender Emre Can. with him taking the penalties. Galatasaray. Oh, yeah, I think I'd pick Yilmaz. Or Sani. Yeah, if Yilmaz isn't going to be in the penalties, I think I'd maybe just go for Sani. Liverpool top for projected goals. City, I would like Foden as well. Napoli, I would like some cover in the Napoli defence, so I'll go for Di Lorenzo. I don't have a City defender yet. I think I'd rather just go for Donnarumma and play it safe. So they're playing on the 25th, so I need a goalkeeper on the 26th. Arsenal, Atalanta, Atletico, Bayern, Copenhagen, Bruges, Frankfurt, Inter, Liverpool. I want double Liverpool defence. Yeah, why not? And then we need one more defender. Throw a Dan Burn in there. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Am I missing anyone? I'll ignore Real defence. I've got City defence. I've got that. Yeah, I'll throw a Dan Burn in there for the ball recoveries. There you go. So that would be my Limitless draft. The med, please don't spam the chat, but I would pick McTominay. I've not activated Limitless, no, this is just a draft, so people can see on screen. I'm not going to be playing it though. Best forward for the next 2 weeks. I mean, I think everyone within a week or two is really going to want Haaland, Mbappe, Kane. So probably Kylian Mbappe, unless that's something you don't have. It's quite difficult trying to pick one. Probably Højlund. I've got Højlund. I quite like him as a pick. I think Guirassy looks decent as well. Anyone from Benfica on Limitless? If I was to choose anyone, I'd probably go for Otamendi. Nice ball recoveries. Playing against a pretty poor Ajax team. Goal threat. Who would you bring on wildcard? Bellingham or Barcola? If I had to pick one, I'd probably go for Bellingham. Yeah. Got to replace Dumfries and Gabriel, but wanted to swap Kane out this week. Would you take the hit? I'd definitely keep Kane. You know, he's playing against Arsenal. It's a tough fixture, but they're now missing Gabriel. That's, you know, a big game for someone who'd played for Spurs half their career, and of course, then he's coming into a fantastic run of fixtures. So if you've got Kane now, then definitely keep Kane. The time to take him out was last week, but if you've kept him, he's a keep. Thoughts on Salah and Trincao and Limitless? They both look really good, Lucas, but I'd be worried about Salah potentially not starting. I think I would agree with that, Mr. Frizads. Otamendi, Sudagov, Pavlidis look really nice. Hi Bobby, have Gabriel, Dumfries, Gordon, Osimhen, what transfers? I think Gabriel and Dumfries have to come out. And I think maybe you just take a -4 and get rid of Osimhen and keep Gordon. I think that's what I would be doing in that situation. Is Kvara worth $1 million more than Vitinha? It depends what you're going for. Obviously, Kvaratskhelia has got a much higher ceiling. Vitinha is just a nice stable pick that I quite like in midfield. Obviously takes the penalties as well. So if you really need the budget, go for Vitinha. I think they're both good picks. So it depends what you're going to do with the extra $1 million. Fermin Lopez, I mean, I didn't like him before. and he's proved me wrong. I think 2 match days in a row now. He looks like he's still got his spot now. Would I transfer him in? Probably not. But I said that 2 match days ago as well, and then he's blown those expectations out the water. How about Grassy? Grassy looks good this week. What do I think about João Neves? I think like he's one of those ones that's alright, but I think you can get better picks. Like I prefer Kvaratskhelia and Vitinha, but it's one of those that they're all good picks for the PSG midfield. He's obviously cheaper as well, but you don't really get the same thing. Like Kvaratskelia's got the explosiveness, the high ceiling. Vitinha's got the penalties, the ball recoveries. João Neves doesn't really have any of those. That's just my opinion on that. Di Lorenzo or Cambiaso? I would go for Di Lorenzo myself. I think Cambiaso looks decent, but he's not really kind of getting the attacking. He's not really got the attacking threat that you would expect from him, who last season was obviously fantastic. They both kind of do the same thing, but Napoli's got the better chance of a clean sheet this week. Any new leaks? Let's have a look. Let's see if we've got anything else. So we've already seen the Juventus lineup with Yildiz not there. Travelling team to Bayern, to Arsenal. No real surprises to what we expected. What's this? Nothing much. Let's have a look at Manuel's team. Oh, there you go. There's a replacement centre back for for Real Madrid. It looks as though it'll be probably what's his name? The centre back, Asensio and Tchouameni at centre back. Sorry, I didn't even realise I wasn't even on the news page. Let's see if we get any new leaks. Why does that keep... There we go. Let's see. Nah, doesn't really seem like we've got too much that's new, to be honest. Nah, nothing new. All the same. Oh, there we go. Sani or Yilmaz? It's tough. I originally said Yilmaz because I thought he had the penalties, but I've been corrected that a lot of people seem to think it's going to be Icardi on the penalties, so I think probably Sani is just the better option. But it depends if you need the value. If you're not like worried about money or anything, I probably would just go for Sani. Have you decided about which defender you're choosing? I think if I'm honest, I might just go for a Upamecano. Right, 2:45. So for anyone who asks for a Limitless team, then we can ask them to go back in the stream. Yeah, I think it's going to be Nuno Mendes for sure, and then I think I'll probably just go for a Upamecano and go early and do that. 1.1 million in the bank. and I feel like that's a team that's well set up. Going to be keeping Yildiz and going to be keeping Gordon. Hopefully at least both of them, if they don't start making an appearance off the bench, and we can do something. They both start tonight. They both play tonight anyway, so if they don't start, then I'll just take them out for someone who plays on Wednesday. And I think that's kind of what you have got to consider as well. Like, you do have that bench. You don't need to have 15 starting players. You do have a bench kind of for that reason. So kind of, think about that when you're deciding if you want to take a -4 or not. At least I know, Yildiz and Gordon probably will play off the bench and will get at least 1 point, which means both the replacements that I need for them are going to need 5 points plus for that to be worth it, which is gambling on a return. And for someone like Yildiz, I'm going to want him, next week going forward. So, he's going to be another transfer in next week, which could potentially result in another -4, to which point your replacement's going to need like 9 points or something like that for that to be worth it. So Yildiz stays in the team for me. Gordon, kind of similar. His fixtures are still quite nice. He's done really well in the Champions League so far, and I'm happy to keep him going forward. And I don't think that a -4 is really going to be worth it to try and hope for 5-6 points from someone else. Dumfries and Gabriel obviously been obvious moves. Both of them look like they're going to be missing matchday 5 and matchday 6, so that's 0 points there. So a -4 is probably going to be worth it there. But yeah, not for the midfielders in my opinion. Upamecano's definitely the safest option for Bayern in defence. I believe Tah is more red. Yeah, I think Upamecano has, historically as well, last season and stuff, was much better for ball recoveries too. So yeah, he would be the guy I'd be going for. Obviously, it looks as though Alphonso Davies is back in training as well, which means that left back spot is another one that's kind of could be rotated over the next few. So I think for the next 4 match days, Upamecano is going to be your safe choice. Can we have a poll on how many are using Limitless this match day? Yes, we can. Let me get that sorted. Sorry, I think the chat's going to be missing for a wee bit. Are you using a... I will go for a chip. There we go. What to do with Yildiz? Keep him or -4? Yeah, definitely keep Yildiz. I have Gabriel, Dumfries, Rashford and Yildiz. Should I use Limitless? No, I would just take out Gabriel and Dumfries and leave it at that. Rashford maybe starts, but he should come off the bench anyway. The same with Yildiz, and that's kind of what, a similar situation maybe with me with Gordon and Yildiz. So I would just take out Gabriel and Dumfries and save the Limitless. -4 for a Serbi. Potentially, yeah, I don't mind that. Because Inter's fixtures are pretty shocking for the next 4 weeks. Why does it show Baldi's injured? I think he came off injured over the week, but he's been included in Barca's travelling squad, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Thoughts on Milinkovic-Savic? Obviously great value. I would definitely look to choose him. I think if you've already got a Napoli defender, you probably don't need that to double up on them. But yeah, Milinkovic-Savic is definitely one of the best goalkeepers you can get in the game. I think any playing goalkeeper at 4 million and below is great, and it's much more ideal that Napoli have such good fixtures. Icardi over Larsson on Limitless. I would be between both of them. Personally, I'd be picking Larsson, if I'm honest. But they both obviously look fantastic. Osimhen would be a sell for me. What chip do you think is better to use? It's very team dependent. It depends how your team, obviously looks. If you've got a lot of long-term injuries, then the wild card will be better. If all of your injuries are short-term, then use the Limitless. Hincapié worth a risk as Gabriel replacement? Yes. Like he is the Gabriel replacement, but they're playing Bayern this week. Then you're getting him for match day 6, and then Gabriel will be back for match day 7 and 8. So I wouldn't go for him personally, because you're only gonna get. I don't even know who Arsenal are playing after this week. You're gonna get Hincapié for Bayern and Bruges, and then Gabriel will be back for the last 2 games. So I don't really think it's that worth a transfer. Will Vardy all start? I mean, I would have thought yes, but City Extra's predicted lineup didn't have him in it, which puts me off a little bit. Makes sense, McTominay captain for today. He's my 3rd favourite captain today, behind Haaland and Icardi. Nuno and Neves or Elise and Koundé. I would go for Nuno. Thinking long term. Nah, I would go for Nuno and Neves. I think Nuno Mendes is like one of the best picks you can get right now. You're not doing Limitless. I thought it was your tactic. It was. That was the main plan. Obviously trying to avoid Arsenal, Bayern, Chelsea, and Barca players, but I don't actually have that many, so there was no need for me to use the Limitless, which is ideal. So I'm going to try and save that. Why not Mukoko over Larsson? Because Larsson is the penalty taker, if I can look it up. He took a penalty at the weekend as well. Saying that, this has Mukoko taking penalties as well, with Maatsen, but yeah, Jordan Larsson takes one, Jordan Larsson takes one. It looks as though it's actually kind of shared between quite a few players. But Larsson's got the goal as well so far in the Champions League. His form's been really nice. If I look up Copenhagen here. 5 goals and 2 assists. I think that might just be off your screen actually. Yeah, it is. Larsson's got 5 goals and 2 assists so far this season. And he's absolutely smashing it. So I would be my big differential of the week would be Jordan Larsson. Love the content, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sane or Yilmaz? I like both, but Sane, I think. I'm saving my Limitless for match day 7 or match day 8. I don't know when it's going to be used. Ideally match day 8, but I'll keep it open and see what happens. Is Dortmund defender worth it? I think it's a good pick. I think Emre Can looks really nice because he is the chosen penalty taker, but obviously Guirassy could still take them. But it should be fine, and I think Can is a really nice one. I would take out Osimhen, Dwayne. Have the authorities been in touch yet? Is not having McTominay on your team as a Scot grounds to have you arrested for treason? I know, I can't believe it. That's my fault for choosing Højlund last week. I shouldn't have done it. What an overhead kick, but what a day. Elyounoussi will return, mark my words. I think, see, to be fair, Elyounoussi would be my choice if he was listed as a midfielder. Yeah, he's also another really nice one alongside Larsson. Pavlidis looks good, Noah. I think it's Noah. Yeah, Pavlidis looks nice. Any new lineups? Let's see. Probably not. We looked a couple of minutes ago and there wasn't anything. Squad list for Real. No Hodgson. And there you go. So Victor Gyökeres didn't train. I'll tweet that one. Yeah, nothing really new. There you go. That's pretty much confirmation that Osimhen's not going to start or really play, to be honest. Yeah, no cat in the locker room, as it says. Oh. Yeah, it's Noah. Perfect. Gordon or Vitinha? I'd pick Vitinha because it doesn't look likely that Gordon's going to be starting today. Do you think Calafiori will start? I'm going to be honest, like, it could, you know, Arsenal could easily go full strength for Bayern Munich, but Lewis Skelly's been the guy starting in the Champions League so far. So it's a big gamble. With a sell Gordon for Vitinha. It depends how much. Like, I wouldn't do it for a -4. I would do it for a free transfer if you can. But yeah, I like the idea of keeping Gordon for the next few weeks. But if you've got a free transfer to use, then I don't mind it. Is it fine to use a Limitless in this game week or better to wait? I think it is better to wait, but obviously depends how your team looks. If you need to use it, you need to use it. Who would you take between Gutierrez and Buongiorno? Gutierrez is injured, so it would definitely be Buongiorno. The reasoning behind the Pumecano: Bayern's fixtures look fantastic this week. Not this week, after this week. So I'm really just moving early because I don't really like a lot of other defenders. When we look at the clean sheet odds over on the far right of the screen, there's not really too many players from those teams, or at least I've covered a lot of them off. You know, Napoli, I've got Buongiorno. Man City, I think, are too rotational for the next 4 match days to, you know, nail one down. Copenhagen, I'm not keeping anyone going forward. Real Madrid have no available centre backs, and then Liverpool, meh. PSG, I'm getting Nuno Mendes, so I thought I'd just move early on someone that I want next week. Probability of Gordon starting, I think it's unlikely. I don't really know exactly, but I think he'll be on the bench tonight. I'm yawning like hell. Right, we'll get the City lineups for those who want the City lineups. There you go. Was Ben Sebaini going to play? I don't think so. I think he's in the squad, but I think he's another one that will be on the bench. Yeah, I want to replace Saibari. Should I go for Neto or Doku? I would be. Oh, I'd be going for Doku. Doku's in nice form, and the Chelsea fixtures aren't too great. Maxime, that's interesting. See if Gordon starts, fantastic. I'd love that. Are you a Newcastle fan, Maxime? Because I would like to ask a question. Virox, it's totally up to you. The team, it's obviously team dependent. If you can save it, then save it. Would I do Adeyemi to Szoboszlai for a -4? Nah, definitely not. Nicola, I would definitely keep Adeyemi. Best midfield option below 6 million. Probably Yilmaz from Galatasaray. At 5 million is a really good one. What do you think about Alvarez? I was just I hadn't really thought about him, but FPL Tom said he was bringing him in. We were kind of had a brief look at him, and he looks pretty decent, and he'll be a huge differential. This week, obviously, I think there's better forwards, but yeah, I think overall he looks not too bad. Højlund, Vlahovic or Greenwood? I go Højlund all day. Mbappe, Rashford, Haaland, Yamal, Yildiz, Calhanoglu, Eklucci, Van Dijk, Mendes, Van de Ven. Do I need to use Limitless? No, you definitely don't need to use Limitless. I would take out Rashford and... I would take out Rashford and probably... Rashford, you could take out Gordon if you want to take out Gordon. Other move I would do Calhanoglu. The one I would take out this week though would be Rashford there, but your team looks really nice for this week, to be fair. Thoughts on Pavlidis? Ajax are awful, and next day plays at home to Napoli. Yeah, Pavlidis is a good pick. Napoli look horrendous. Should I sell Arda Güler for Vitinha? I wouldn't sell Güler this week, no. I would definitely look at keeping him. Oh, we've already got Yilmaz. Can you afford a João Neves? I've not really looked at that kind of price range, but João Neves could be a decent one if he's one of the only ones you can afford. Xavi, I had a Limitless team on screen 15 minutes ago, so if you want it, well, I think it'll be 18 minutes ago now, so if you want to rewind the stream 18 minutes, my Limitless team will be on the screen. Or what I would do if I was using the Limitless. Team is Chevalier, Rulli, Anton, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Nuno Mendes, DeMarco, Adeyemi, Yildiz, Elise. It's a great team. I think, again, you only really need to take out Rashford there. And maybe an Anton, if possible. Or DeMarco. But I don't think DeMarco's needed. You've got a lot of luxury transfers you can make in there this week. Not too many injuries. So yeah, I think you're fine. I wouldn't use the Limitless. Not a Newcastle fan, but got it from a Newcastle fan. That's fine. Thank you. Thoughts on Neres? I don't know if he's listed as a forward. If he's listed as a midfielder, then he probably will be quite decent, but I think McTominay is going to be the guy if you're looking for a Napoli midfielder. Should I keep Alvarez or replace for Højlund for a -4? Definitely keep Alvarez. Using 3 free transfers on defenders, pretty sure on Di Lorenzo, Mendes and who else. The defenders are quite hard to pick, especially this week. So you could always just set yourself up like myself and go for an Upamecano this week. Chiringuito, I would be taking out Gabriel and Osimhen there. I think everyone else is fine. This is my Limitless team. Missing anyone? I don't think so. I think that looks fine. Yeah. No, I can't think off the top of my head if anyone's missing there, but that looks pretty decent. Bill, I wouldn't choose Osimhen or Vlahovic. Both of them aren't expected to be starting. How many points do I have? How many points do I have? Where does it say? Leagues. No. Oh, here we go. 338. Just realised I reset my transfers. This should be my final team, yeah. I think I'm pretty nailed on this. Important to note that Osimhen's in the early kick-off, yeah. Foden should start, I would imagine. He's in the predicted lineups. So tempted by Isak as a differential. Isak's been terrible though, but I get it. You know, if he blows up, he blows up. Kvara or Yildiz? Go for Kvaratskhelia because Yildiz is not in the predicted lineups for this week, unfortunately. Salah for Saka. Bold, but I don't mind it. Let's see if we've got any more news. Napoli team. Already seen this one. Yeah, nothing new again. It's gone quiet. My defence is O'Reilly, Mendes, Kalulu, Akanji and Gusto. I would take out Akanji. Because I think Gusto is more likely to play more often. And I would go for a Napoli defender, someone like Buongiorno. I would keep Gordon, yeah. Unless you can take him out with a free transfer. Putting these back on so I can listen to the music as well. Which I can barely hear. There we go. Captains for today. Vixro, there's a video on my channel that has everything captaincy related that came out this morning, so I recommend you go and watch that. Who's the most nailed Real Madrid defender? For this week, it's Asensio because he's the only available one. Yamal, Yildiz, Greenwood, Burn. Who to captain? Probably just Yamal. Pavlidis or Gurasi for Limitless. That's tough. I'd probably just go for Gurasi because he's got the home game. Thoughts on the matcha? I don't know. I think there's probably better options out there, to be honest. I'm guessing he's still playing with Dortmund. I've got Kane and Elise against Arsenal, Chalobah against Bayern, Gabriel and Dumfries who's injured, Yildiz, I mean not starting, Guller who's shit. Yeah, I mean you can do it if you want, but I think you're going to come back to matchday 6 still with Gabriel and Dumfries injured. So I think your only actual issues outside of Gabriel and Dumfries is Kane, Elise and Chalobah. Chalobah playing against Barca, not Bayern. So I think you could probably get away with a -4. Maybe just do Gabriel, Dumfries and Chalobah out and bring in some replacements and hope that Bayern do well against Arsenal, which historically they have done. Icardi's a great punt, I think, yeah. And yeah, Burn looks like a decent pick ahead of Akanji Bill. Rashford is in 2 of 4 predicted lineups that I've seen. So it's very 50-50 to whether he plays or not. Yeah, Flavio, I know, it came out this morning that Yildiz might be benched, which isn't ideal, but he's definitely not a transfer either. Thoughts on Vardiol's form? I mean, he's been playing centre-back, he's been doing well for ball recoveries, the clean sheet odds are quite decent, so if he starts then he looks like a good pick, but the predicted lineup doesn't have him starting. Federico, what do you think of O'Reilly as a cheap defender? I kind of explained it at the start of the stream. I think he's decent because you know he's going to start 7 and 8 because Ait Nouri's going to be at AFCON. If he starts tonight, fantastic. He is predicted to start tonight. But I think matchday 6 is where you could potentially see some rotation and maybe have Ait Nouri come in instead. So it depends how much risk you want to take, but it's fantastic value. I want to start one of these two, Gordon or Yildiz. If I had to start one, I would start Yildiz. Yeah, Yildiz. Who would be your third forward on Limitless after Mbappe and Haaland? It would be Jordan Larson as a punt. If you want to go a little bit less punty, then probably Icardi. How many points did I get in matchday 4? How many points did I get in matchday 4? I think it was 68. 68. This is how it got in matchday 4. Captaincy let me down, unfortunately. So, I'm just looking back at the poll now. 56% of people said that they are going to be using a chip this week. Which isn't as much as I thought. I thought I'd have seen a lot more. Maybe I'll see. Right, let's end this poll, right? We've got 56% of people saying that they're going to use a chip. I want to see how many people are using a hit. Or taking a hit. Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. Nope. -4, -8. Using a chip. Let's do that. See what people are doing. What's a better way of using the Limitless? Avoiding the big teams playing each other or taking advantage of the big teams playing crap. It depends, like, you know, what you've been targeting with your normal team. Like for me, at first I'd planned to have a lot of Chelsea, a lot of Barca, a lot of Bayern, and obviously they're kind of playing each other in matchday 5, which made sense to use the Limitless, but overall didn't really end up having any of those players. So it just depends. I'm now planning to use it in matchday 7, matchday 8. Like I don't think there is a definitive, you know, best time to use it. It just depends, like, how your team looks. I'm Italian and I've saw from news that Yildiz might not start. Yeah, I've seen that as well. It's not great. It probably won't, because Sky Sports Italia is usually, you know, pretty reliable. More likely to score, Kane or Alvarez. I'll bring up some goal scoring odds for you. There you go. On paper, there's Alvarez, 39%, Harry Kane, 38%, so they're both basically the same. Thoughts on Svensson as a pick on wildcard? Svensson looks decent. I think Emre Can is another good one from Dortmund. I think I do prefer a Newcastle defender, but it's trying to pick one that's going to be nailed for the next 4 weeks, which I don't think is going to be Dan Burn, and I don't think is going to be, you know, like a Trippier. Obviously he's injured for this week. So you could play it safe and go for Svensson, but if you want a Newcastle defender, it's probably going to be Chow that's your best pick. Should I add Salah to my Limitless? It looks okay. It might not start though, so if you can think of a better midfielder, then go for it. But obviously on paper, you know, Salah's expected to do really well. You can see him on screen as well, 5th highest goal scoring odds. Which 2 defenders from Dortmund? I would pick Chan and Svensson. Pavlidis or Gurase or Icardi? I would go Icardi, then Gurase, then Pavlidis for this week. Best goalkeeper for day 2? Probably Alisson if you're on a Limitless. We've got the clean sheet odds over that end of the screen. Or you could go for Lunin from Real Madrid because Courtois is out. Larson does start, yeah. Well, most of the time. Matchday 8 is tricky for chips, lots of rotation. That's why it's good for chips, because we see all of the lineups, so you can just make your entire team based off of every single lineup that comes out, since all the games are at 8 PM. Bill, that looks pretty decent. I think, depending obviously if you want to transfer out a 4.5 million midfielder, but Mastantuano's not going to play today. So be wary of that. But yeah, the rest of the transfers and the moves look pretty decent. Since most people are using a chip, can you ask which one are they using? Also, in which game week is better to use Limitless? I think, yeah, it's game week 7 looks great for Limitless, but I think game week 8 is going to be huge as well. Obviously you don't get the bench, but you do get all the lineups. I will ask which chip later. I'll let this poll run for a little bit first, and we'll see once we get some more votes. Spidey, Shad, Dumfries and Gordon. Dumfries is definitely not starting. He's out until mid-December. Gordon, unlikely to start. He'll probably be on the bench tonight. Will McTominay play deeper? I don't see why he would. Sell Gordon. I wouldn't sell Gordon unless it's for a free transfer. And I would keep Kane as well. Best 7 million midfielder, McTominay. All good, Spidey Shad. I hope work's going well. I have the Sporting goalkeeper right now for day 2 at home versus Bruges. Sporting was in your list. Yeah, Sporting goalkeeper's fine. I think their clean sheet odds are pretty okay as well for this week, at least above 30%. Between Jimenez, Marquinhos and Upamecano, who should I go for? I would go for, this week, Marquinhos. Overall, if you're not Limitless, then Upamecano is probably going to be a nice one to go early on. Vardiol, good option. I would have said yes yesterday, but the predicted lineups came out and they don't have him in it, so it's one to be aware of. But yeah, it's a tough one because he could easily start. It's just one predicted lineup at the end of the day, but it does obviously put the doubts in your head. Dembele or Guirassy? Guirassy. I don't think Dembele will start tonight or tomorrow, whenever that game is. Can bring in Kvaratskhelia or Yamal. What do you prefer for this match day and the long run? Probably Kvaratskhelia, unfortunately. Yamal obviously has the potential to do something really good, but over the next 4 match days he could be rotated quite a bit. There was some news that came out that they are going to now manage his minutes a lot more because of, you know, he's had an abundance of injuries this season. So he could, you know, be rested quite a bit, and Kvaratskhelia is just overall a really good option anyway, and he's cheaper. Guirassy on a Limitless is a good one, yeah. He's probably like my 5th or 6th favourite striker. What do you think about Kenda? Kenda probably, like, I don't like Kenda's minutes. For the last 6 games, he's been benched in 3 of them, and he's came off, you know, round about the 60th. So you're risking it a lot there that he doesn't get clean sheet points if they keep it. Harvey Barnes good for wildcard. It's tough because Gordon's going to come back and probably take that left wing spot off him again, so he's probably not the best pick, to be honest. Kvara or Sane just for this week? I'd probably go for Kvaratskhelia this week. Sell Enzo or Guler? I wouldn't sell any. I mean, you could, I would probably keep Guler instead and look to move him on next week. This week, probably Enzo would be the one to sell. For a 1 week punt, Kvaratskhelia. Why do you think Højlund's better than Greenwood and Vlahovic? I watched Marseille haven't been a great attack in the Champions League. They're one of the worst attacks for expected goals. So I don't really like, and Vlahovic is expected to be benched this week as well. Højlund is fantastic value at the 6 million that he is, which is why I like him. I would rather have McTominay overall, but again, it's very team dependent. If you want an extra midfielder or forward, and that extra million as well, so that's why I like Højlund personally. Haaland, Osimhen, Mbappe, Kvaratskhelia, Ramos on the phone, McTominay, Van de... yeah, looks class. Really good team. Quang Trung... yeah. Sorry, I've got no idea how to pronounce that. Donnarumma looks like a great goalie today though as well though. Nice clean sheet odds. Is Courtois actually injured? He is. It was, cannot remember what the name of the injury was, but it was like gastro something. Find it. There we go. Gastroenteritis, and he's not playing unfortunately. Not easy picking midfielders for a Limitless. I agree, and I feel like I've found that every match day for the last like 3 match days or so, that midfielders just aren't really doing too great. Sani or McTominay? That's a good question. McTominay. I had Courtois in net, but just realised he's injured and have Milinkovic Savic. Who would you change him for? The Tuesday goalies aren't amazing. I would maybe just go, cheaper. I don't know if you're on Limitless. If you're on Limitless, then probably just go for Allison, or just swap to Lunin instead, who will be playing in place of Courtois. Yilmaz or Foden? I think I would go Foden, but Yilmaz is also a really good pick. Stomach ulcer. Ouch. Also, I just realised how quickly it got so dark. Let's see if we go back to the start of the stream. There was like nice sun. I looked ginger at one point, and now it just seems pure dark outside. The moon's out. Do you think it's worth to get Kvara this week just to sell him next week and get Elise in? I would just get Elise in this week. Yeah, Elise's good enough that he can score against anyone. As much as Kvara looks like a better pick for this week, yeah, if you want to plan long term, I think Elise's going to be a bit better. Would I do a -8 this week due to injuries and tricky fixtures? Tricky fixtures I wouldn't be too worried about. Yeah, I would just focus on the injuries, and if you can save hits, then save hits. Sell Gordon for Kvara, Foden, McTominay. I wouldn't. I think I answered that question a wee bit ago. Yeah, I wouldn't sell Gordon this week. Right, I'm gonna quickly jump to the toilet, so I'll be 2 minutes. Yeah, remember we've got a poll in chat as well, so make sure to vote on that if you haven't already. But I will literally be 2 minutes, and then hopefully we'll have some lineups. If they come out at past, that is. That should be 2 seconds. Put the music up a little bit. Righty. Also got a Kinder Be Happy. Let me do it like the makeup. Oh, wait, hold on, I just realised the music's still pretty loud. There we go. Right. Yeah, I got a Kinder Be Happy, like the makeup tutorials. I'll not do this in the mic. That just went everywhere. Oh my god. Jesmar? Sorry, I don't know if that's your full name. Could be just Jez. I'm not using Limitless now. This is my team for this week. I'm going to be doing Nuno Mendes and Upamecano. There we go. That's my team for this week. Rulli or De Gregorio? Definitely Rulli. De Gregorio isn't expected to start tonight. Trincao and a Limitless is a big differential. I quite like him. Sporting are a pretty decent attack, with Bruges being a pretty bad defence as well. Foden is in the predicted lineups, yeah. City or Juventus defenders, and I don't know who KK is. I'm going to say Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia, isn't it? On a Limitless, I'll pick Kvaratskhelia. But I like both of them. Osimhen starts, sharp. No, not in the squad. And there's your confirmation. There we go. Sané's on the bench as well. By the way, Icardi's on the bench. Jeez. Wow. Icardi and Sané benched. No Osimhen. Jeez. I was not expecting that. Well, that means then that Yilmaz... Oh no, Osimhen... Wait, hold on. Osimhen starts. Why have I missed that and just tweeted out that he's not there? What the hell? Wait, what's going on? Is he starting or is he not starting? Why does it look like that tweet's been deleted? It has been deleted? What is going on right now? I'm so confused. So this says here, Osimhen and Lamina are not in the squad, but Galatasaray's just posted them in the squad. What's happening? UEFA website shows a card day starts. This is the, of course. Starting 11. Ah, there we go. Icardi. Right. Aye. So Sane is starting. What kind of fucking lineup was that before then? So Icardi's starting. Sane's starting. Yilmaz is starting. Okay. Icardi. Sane. Yilmaz all start. No. Osimhen. How do you spell Osimhen? Osimhen. No. Why have I just forgot how to spell it? Osimhen. Nope. Osimhen. Right. So this looks confirmed. Correct? Why do they put the lineup as a video, by the way? That's the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay. Back to chat. Checked on Instagram, doesn't start. Yeah, I don't think he starts. Oh, Benfica are playing as well. Sorry, I forgot about Benfica lineups. Not on there. Not on there either. Hold on. Ajax team. No one's really got Ajax players anyway. Trubin, Dedic, Silva, Otamendi, Dal, Enzo, Rios, Ursnes, Barreiro, Sudakov, Pavlidis. Yeah, no surprises for Benfica. I think my 3 picks there would be Pavlidis, Sudakov, and Otamendi. Sudakov's a good choice actually for those of you who were asking for midfielders under 6 million. Just in from work, any City leaks? No leaks, unfortunately, but it does look as though Vardiol might not be starting. Gabriel. Yeah, that doesn't really affect me too much, but yeah, for those of you with Osimhen. Galatasaray posted the Liverpool lineup by accident. What? Show the Limitless squad. Go back an hour on the stream. I think it is like exactly an hour or like 57 minutes. And then you'll see the Limitless squad that we had on the live not that long ago. Recommend getting Vitinha. I like Vitinha. I think there's not really that many good midfielders, and he's just kind of good for everything. Man of the match potential, penalties, ball recoveries, which is pretty a solid pick all round, I think. Chan or Di Lorenzo? Ooh, I would go for Di Lorenzo. Maybe. It's quite tough. I would like both, to be honest. Doku starting. He is in the predicted lineups, Doku. If it looked like Vardiol was starting, or you could guarantee O'Reilly's minutes, would you go for them over Upamecano? See, if I could guarantee O'Reilly's minutes, I would pick O'Reilly. And if it looked like Vardiol was starting tonight, I would still pick Upamecano. I have Haaland and Mbappe looking for a cheap alternative for Kane. Højlund. Højlund looks good long term. Gurasi. They posted the lineup. They played against Liverpool. Got you. Makes sense. I have Nuno Mendes, Grimaldo, Hodgson, Gusto, Dumfries. Want to replace 2. I would be replacing Hodgson and Dumfries, both the injured guys. Thoughts as a punt this week? Gakpo or Ekitike? I think maybe the fact that Ekitike was benched at the weekend means he's more likely to play this week. So I think I would maybe just go for Ekitike, but it's kind of a throw in the dark with all the Liverpool attackers. Chan nailed to start today. He should be. I would put it down as very likely that he starts, because Ben Sebaini's very likely to be on the bench. And I think another centre back's out as well. So yeah, I think Chan's a good one for this week. Sell Caicedo or Enzo to fit in Salah. Probably Caicedo. Enzo's got pens. What do you think of Burkhardt? Let me check. I don't think Frankfurt's fixtures are very nice. But obviously he's been smashing it. £5.3 million enabler forward. Do you know what? It's not that bad. I think there's better picks out there. I think Højlund for $1 million more is better. If you desperately need the money, then sure. But yeah, I don't think he's that great a pick. So I just want to go back and look at the poll. We've got 51% of people saying they're using a chip this week. 28 aren't taking a hit. We've got 247 votes so far, so if you haven't voted yet, make sure to go on and go and vote. 5% of people are taking a -8, so 1 in 20 people are taking a -8, and we've got only 16% taking a -4, which isn't actually that big. But it means also we've got only 21% of people actually taking a hit this week. So 1 in 5 people. Which is interesting. Latest on Ben Sebaini. He's in the squad, but probably won't play, as far as I know. Which team will get a clean sheet this week? I think City's probably your best bet for a clean sheet this week. Everyone else is kinda a little bit dodgy, if I'm honest. Sell 2 of Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi. Probably be Gabriel and Hakimi, but I would sell all 3. None of them look like they're going to be back anytime soon. Trincao, Foden or Vitinha on a Limitless. Trincao. Well, it depends how differential you want to go. I think Trincao and Foden have the big ceilings. Vitinha's just a good all-round pick, so it depends what you want to do with your team. But all 3 of them look good this week on a Limitless, to be honest. Can you show an updated Limitless draft? I have one an hour ago, so go back on the stream. I think it's just over an hour now. Maybe like an hour and 1 minute, an hour and 2 minutes ago. And there's a Limitless draft on the screen if you want to go back and see it. I don't have Nuno Mendes as captain. It's just I've not confirmed my transfers yet, which I think I'm just going to do now. I'm definitely wanting Upamecano just before I go into this. Yeah, I want Upamecano. Oh no, I've lost him now. There it is. Gabriel and Dumfries, Mendes, Upamecano. Let's sort my team. Let's do that. Why not? Captain for tonight is going to be Erling Haaland. Play it safe. That way I've got all my attackers playing tonight. And then I've got 3 defenders tomorrow. I can make my subs however I like. Nice, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players tonight. I'm excited. Although, I say I'm excited, I've got fucking probably 2 players on the bench. It could be a low scoring week again. I'm desperate for Højlund to do something. Yamal needs to do something this time as well. Is he still highly owned? 27% owned still, wow. Højlund 3% owned. Yeah. We will see. Who will take penalties for Galatasaray? I've been told it's probably going to be Icardi. So I am Limitless. I am thinking Milinkovic, Savic and Lunin, or Donnarumma and Lunin. City's playing tonight, yeah. I would go for Donnarumma and Lunin. Best City defender on Limitless. I think O'Reilly. If not, then Donnarumma and goals is a nice one. Chan should play, yeah. He should be fine. Which one would you pick? Carreras, Timber, or another defender less than 5 million? I mean, I think Timber. Overall, you know, long term is nice, but the Newcastle guys are pretty good as well, or Buongiorno for Napoli is a nice one. I don't think Yildiz is going to start tonight, no, unfortunately, but I wouldn't sell him either. Would you take a worse player that plays today to balance the days? It depends how much worse. You know, there's some players that are expected to do quite well, but if you need to play Wednesday players, then obviously points is what matters the most. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with going with the Wednesday guys. As long as you're not like 13 players on Wednesday and 2 tonight, because then you're just kind of screwing yourself over. Salah expected to start. I'm not sure. There's not really been anything for Liverpool, unfortunately. Is Mbappe a must-have? Yeah, I think so. He's got a nice fixture this week. He's at home to City next week, and then it's fantastic fixtures after that. Best goalie for Wednesday? Probably Lunin or Alisson. I'm going to take a -8 if I transfer Calafiori as well. Calafiori for a -4. I guess so. He's not looking likely to. You know, he's not been playing, and it's a tough week against Bayern this week, so it probably makes sense. But I think maybe look at your other transfers to see if you can save yourself taking a -8. I've got Bulchalo, because I made an error last week. Who's Bulchalo? Replacement McTominay. No, I wouldn't go for Paxal. I think McTominay is a good shout. Vlahovic or Højlund. Vlahovic doesn't look likely to start, so I would go for Højlund. Defense is Burn, Vardiol, Van de Ven, Nuno Mendes. I've got Dumfries. I want Timber, Upamecano. Don't know who to get. I think it's good to have one Arsenal defender in there, but Upamecano looks good going forward, and I think you are going to want him next week anyway. and you know he's going to play every single time. So I think maybe just go for a Upamecano. Minus 12 for me and ranked 7k. Well, you're smashing it so far, at least. Yeah, Kvaratskhelia is a safe pick this week. He's probably the most nailed out of all the attackers. Guys, remember, we have had almost 2,000 people in this stream total. We're only on 66 likes though, so please, we've got 180 of you in right now. Make sure to go and leave a like on the stream, and then we can obviously answer whatever questions you've got. But 66 likes right now. Let's try and get that up towards 100. If at least one in every 3 of you leave a like, then we're going to be well past 100. There we go, we're up to 74 now. I want to see more likes. But thank you all so much for being here as well. 180 people is kind of mental. For the next 3 weeks, what's the best defender? I think Juve or Napoli defence are better than Upamecano. Juve defence is good, but Kelly's kind of your best option. He doesn't like really excite that much. Napoli defender, I would pick Buongiorno or Di Lorenzo over Upamecano, yeah. Do you think Gvardiol will start today? I would have said yes up until a few hours ago before seeing that predicted lineup, where he wasn't in it, which is obviously not great. Who do I go for in place of Osimhen? It depends if you're on a Limitless or not. On a Limitless, I really like Icardi if you want to just go for the straight swap, or Jordan Larson's a really nice one. Long term, I think Højlund looks good. Guirassy looks good. Thoughts on Davinson Sanchez on Limitless? Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. The Galatasaray defence isn't really known for being fantastic. I think he's been decent for ball recoveries though. So if you want to gamble and you don't really like a lot of the bigger teams for clean sheet odds, they still are in the top 8. Alphonso Davies might be back in 2 weeks for the final 3 games. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't be picking any of the fullbacks for Bayern. I think Upamecano is the good safe pick. But yeah, I wouldn't be choosing any of the fullbacks. Priority for transfers between Hakimi, Dumfries and Gabriel. Honestly, I think all 3 need to come out. I wouldn't take Kane out at this point. I think last week was the time to do that. As much as Haaland is, a big player for this week, I think you've got other problems. So I'd keep Kane. But I think Hakimi, Dumfries and Gabriel are all transfers out for this week. Did you say Gvardiol wasn't starting? So this is what we're at for Gvardiol. Not in the predicted lineups. But obviously again, that could be wrong. It's only 1 at the end of the day. But that's enough to put me off him personally, when I wasn't so convinced. Replacement for Osimhen and Courtois. You could just go for the direct replacements in Icardi and Lunin if we're not Limitless. I'm chasing around 70 points to the mini league leader. Any tips on catching up? Do I go differential already? Is there still a lot of time to catch up? There is still tons of time to catch up. 70 points is quite a lot. You've got to just try and play smart for the rest of it. Don't go trying taking hits and stuff. Obviously differentials could be nice, but just make sure it's smart differentials. Like, as much as I like the likes of Icardi, he's a 1 week punt, he's not going to play in future. So yeah, I kind of just got to play it smart, but you've got to remember there's 17 match days. We're still only on match day 5, we're not even a third of the way through yet. Højlund or Icardi? For this week I would pick Icardi. Overall I'd pick Højlund. Take a -8 to take Osimhen out. I've got Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi. I think I might just Limitless. The problem is you're going to Limitless and you're still going to come back to Gabriel, Dumfries and Hakimi being injured. So you might just have to take the hit, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of what has to happen, unfortunately. One of those situations that you can't really do much about. I'm in a tough spot. I've got Gabriel, got Gordon. Definitely keep Gordon. Gordon will at least be on the bench tonight. In terms of 2 to prioritise, it would be Dumfries and Gabriel. At least you know Osimhen's going to be back for match day 6. Can't say the same for Dumfries and Gabriel. Gamble on Salah for Limitless. I think there is probably better picks you can get, but if you're struggling for midfielders, like I was struggling for midfielder picks, then yeah, I feel like you might as well go for that gamble. No one, he's not the most popular player amongst, like engaged players. So he's a bit of a differential. But obviously you're taking a big gamble on someone who's not really in the best of form. I would say yes though. I would stick him in there. Chan is predicted to start, yeah. Best Galatasaray mid for Limitless. Abbey, it's probably Sane, but a big shout for Yilmaz as well. Buongiorno or Di Lorenzo if I had to pick between the two. On a Limitless, I'd pick Di Lorenzo. No, I probably overall would pick Di Lorenzo, but Buongiorno is obviously fantastic value at his price. So if you're going to look to use that money to do something else, then Buongiorno's probably the better pick for you. Can I put this up? This is the lowest headrest I've ever seen. I don't think so. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's much better. Icardi or Pavlidis? I would pick Icardi. Chevalier or Copenhagen goalie or Rui Silva? I'll go Chevalier. Sani or Yildiz? It's a 50-50 at the end of the day. I'm speaking like it's... Hi Bobby, what the fuck? How would your Limitless look now with all the info we have? See if you go back an hour and 15 minutes in the stream. I did a Limitless draft and it was on the screen. So yeah, that's it. Sorry to do that to your ears. It's been a long day. I feel like I'm running out of stuff to do. Let me fix this back again. Right. Pavlidis or Guirassy on Limitless? Guirassy. Ah, that's a tough one though. They both look really good, so I'd pick Guirassy. DeMarco, Gordon, Gabriel for Andy Robertson, Mendes, McTominay. I would keep DeMarco. And if I would maybe pick Gordon as well. Gabriel definitely for Nuno Mendes would be the choice there. If you've got the luxury to be able to take Gordon out, then sure, yeah, I think McTominay's a good pick. I don't think you need to do DeMarco to Robertson though. Does Rafinha start? Thoughts on him? And Rafinha, he said today that he's not ready to come back into the team fully yet, so he'll probably be in the bench. Vlahovic or Kane for Limitless? Kane, because Vlahovic isn't meant to start. Whoa, when did this turn into an ASMR stream? Free Bobby ASMR. This has always been an ASMR stream. I'm going to have to start charging. Quick reminder again, 86 likes, 14 away. We only need 14 people to press the like button, and we're at 100. So if you haven't already, I know every single person in chat is subscribed, and I know you all have YouTube accounts and you're able to like live streams. Thanks. Best Copenhagen defender? That's a good question. Let's find out. I feel like, well, I think Pereira was like, well, I mean, he's probably, none of them are really that great, to be honest, but Pereira, 9 ball recoveries, 5 ball recoveries, 5 ball recoveries, 4 ball recoveries, he's probably just going to be your best one, I think. This guy hasn't really been playing. Yeah, I would just go for Pereira. 4, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, probably Pereira. I've just got in Nuno Mendes for Dumfries, trying to decide on a Gabriel replacement. Already owned DeMarco, Anton, Byrne. Was thinking either Dortmund or Di Lorenzo. I really like Di Lorenzo, Kratos. I don't think another Dortmund defender is going to be ideal. Yeah, I think an Napoli defender is going to be the way to go for you there. Who should you... Eduardo, I think you could easily just go for Lunin, because he'll obviously play over Courtois, or go for Alisson. Time for the Limitless. If that's what your team needs, then I don't mind it at all. Thoughts on double PSG defence? I don't think it's needed. I think like if you want the goalie and Nuno Mendes, then that's fine. I don't really think you need to go for a double PSG defence. I think that's going to be one in like a week or two that you're probably going to be trying to move to someone else if you go for one of the centre backs. John, thank you for liking. Appreciate it. We're at 96. We need 4 more likes. Who wants to be number 100? $97. $98. 2 more. $101. Woo. Thank you. You're so kind. Stay hydrated, boys and girls. What is it Ronaldo said? Coca-Cola, no. Water. For one match day, Emre Can or Davinson Sanchez? Emre Can. Will Trent play? Yes, I believe so. Can you put the Limitless out visually? It's yeah, just go back an hour and 20 minutes on the stream, and it's on there. Should have also maybe say, you already have Hoyland and McTominay as well. I don't mind that though. I think that's fine. Is Vardiol a keep or a sell? Vardiol's a keep. Do you know what? That's a very tough question, because if he starts then he's a keep, but you don't know that. Because if he doesn't start, then you're looking at Real Madrid away next week, and it's a tough one. He's not a sell for a hit. That's what I'll say. It's a tough one though. Are Upamecano and Mendes your only signings? They are, yes. No hits for me this week. Can versus Kenda for this match day only. I'd go for Emre Can. Rashford or Lewandowski, Foden or McTominay. Lewandowski and McTominay. Yeah. Lewandowski or Kane on Limitless. Probably Kane. I don't really like any, to be honest. I think you can get a better forward, but probably Kane. Who's the penalty taker for Napoli without KDB? I did message Napoli Zone, which is a big news outlet for Napoli, and they said it's probably going to be Politano. Should I use the Limitless or wait? I don't have good players for this match day. Go for it. If you need to use it, then use it. Last thing you want to do is keep not use it, and then you end up with like 40 points. Yildiz is a keep, for sure. Which are the best 2 defenders to pick for this and next game week? I think Nuno Mendes, 100%, and then probably a Napoli defender. Di Lorenzo, maybe. Nkapi will probably start. Isaac. Best 5 million defender. For this week only, is Di Lorenzo 5? Might be more expensive than that, I think he is. For this week only, 5 million defender. I mean, if you want to play the odds, Buongiorno, O'Reilly, it's probably your best choices. Vinny or Bellingham? I'd pick Bellingham. Vinicius Jr. isn't really that great under Xabi Alonso. Is it O'Reilly starting over 8 Nuri? He should do according to the predicted lineups. Whether that actually happens or not, obviously we don't know. But yeah. Milinkovic and any City defender or Donnarumma and Trent. Oh, I don't mind Donnarumma and Trent. I quite like that. Enzo still in pens. He will be until Palmer comes back. Your captain today, Haaland, and tomorrow Mbappe, correct. Yes, Ricardo. My team is locked in. I better actually fix that. Let's just play it like that, and that way everyone can see. See if there's any late news, why not? I'll come back to the questions in just a second. Oblak and Simeone training, if anyone has those guys. Fan starting 11 for Arsenal. So Arsenal fans want to see Calafiore start over Lewis Skelly. If that means anything, obviously it probably doesn't, but at least you can see the opinion of some Arsenal fans. Nothing new again. Probable PSG team from Le Parisien. Oh, this one has Mayulu starting. I really didn't think that would be the case. I've seen so much stuff about Kang and Lee playing so well recently that he'll definitely be that guy that starts up front, but Mayulu getting another shot. That's what, 4.5 million midfielder, and he started 3 games up front for PSG. He's been terrible, mind you. He hasn't got any points, but Final question from me, but would you... Oh, final question from me, but would you consider a -4 to sell Marino or just leave him in? I'd just leave him in. I have Yildiz, who with Paphos next isn't a sell. Doesn't feel ideal having him and Marino. I think Marino's fine. At least you know that, you know, in a week that's filled with injuries and everything, at least you know Marino's going to be starting. I think as well, Kratos with the midfield, none of them really look great. I think taking a -4 in midfield just doesn't seem ideal at all, because none of them are, you know, I don't think anyone really coming in would be worth it. I have 4 injuries. Do I wild card? No, I think it depends obviously who the injuries are. If you've got loads of long-term injuries, then maybe. But if it's like Gordon, for example, he's not really worth coming out in a wild card. But if your injuries are like Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi, I don't know, Pedri or something like that, then yeah, maybe it is worth a wild card. But you could probably get away with that with one hit maybe. Who would you replace Courtois with? I think you could easily just go for Lunin, or go for Alisson instead. Gurasi or Højlund on Limitless. I would like to say Højlund. The stats would say Højlund, but every time I go against Gurasi, he always scores a hat-trick. So I will tell you right now, it'll be Højlund, but it'll probably end up being Gurasi. How long have we got? Half an hour still? Jeez, I feel like I've been live for like years. Pavlidis or Icardi? Icardi. Icardi or Elyounoussi? Icardi. Yeah. Is Yildiz out? He looks as though he's going to be rested, unfortunately. If you're on a Limitless, I would go for Kvaratskhelia. I've got Ben Sabeni, Gabriel, Dumfries and Osimhen. Limitless now would take a -4. I would take a -4. I think I'd keep Ben Sabeni. It's hard, but I mean, you could probably keep Osimhen as well. I mean, saying that, he's not even in the squad. Nah, he's probably one to come out. I have Haaland and Mbappe. Who should my third striker be between Vlahovic, Pavlidis, Rashford? Rashford and Vlahovic aren't expected to start, so I would go for Pavlidis out of those three. I also like Gurasi. I also like Jordan Larsson. I also like Højlund. So, a couple of options for you. Is it worth transferring Kane for Mbappe? Nah. The time to take out Kane was last week. If you've not done it yet, he's definitely a keep. Naim, my Limitless team is an hour and a half ago. You can go back on the stream to roughly an hour and a half ago, and you'll be able to see it. Henry, please don't spam. I'll see it eventually, but you don't need to put 3 in a row. What if I take a -4 and take out Van de Ven and get Timber? I don't think you need to take Van de Ven out. I don't think this week's great, but they've got Slavia Prague coming up at home, which is a great fixture for him. So I don't think a -4 is needed for him to come out. Dumfries for a Pumecano looks decent. Which Juve defender? I would pick Kelly personally. Yildiz is probably getting rested, but I'm going to keep him in my team because I don't think it's worth a hit coming out for him, and I'm going to want him going forward. Using a Limitless, who would you pick for third attacker? I would pick Jordan Larsson myself. What if same again. best defender under 5.1 million. I think I answered this already. I think I'll probably go for a Napoli defender or a Newcastle defender. I've got 2 on the screen, but yeah. Transferred in Hodgson yesterday. What should I do? Panic. Nah, but again, that's one that you like. That's obviously it's tough, you know. Like, but it just kind of shows you why we don't try and make transfers early. But yeah, it's not looking like he's going to be starting, and he's injured. He's not going to play at all, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think that's just one you've got to take in the chin, which is a shame. Buongiorno or Cambiasso long term? I'll go Buongiorno. I'm late to what are you doing this week? This week I took out Gabriel and Dumfries and brought in Nuno Mendes and Upamecano. Haaland, Mbappe, Rashford, Yilmaz, McTominay, Burton, Gabriel, James, Riley, Chavez, Nuno Mendes, Timber, Lise. What should I do? That team's great. I think the only person that needs to come out there, you've got Gabriel that needs to come out, and probably Rashford. I think I'd make those 2 transfers. What would you rather, double PSG or Real, Mbappe and Bellingham? Yeah, I would go Mbappe and Bellingham. I think from those 2 teams, my picks would be Mbappe and Kvaratskhelia, or Mbappe and Vitinha if you need the money. Is Vardiol really going to be benched? I don't know. It's obviously just one predicted lineup. That was enough for me not to consider him. But if you've got him already, I wouldn't sell him either. Manuel, I'd go this week. I would pick Van Dijk. Keeper sell Vitinha on Limitless. I like Vitinha on Limitless. He was in my Limitless team, or my Limitless draft. Gabriel for who? Nuno Mendes. Will Foden start? Why am I seeing rumours of him being benched? I haven't seen anything really of him being benched. I will have a look for you. Nah, I think you're fine. Foden should be okay. I'm gonna quickly close my window. Sorry I missed it. Who was the City predicted lineup? Let me quickly check for you. There you go. Haaland or Yilmaz for captain? Definitely go Haaland for captaincy. Other than Nuno, I've got him already. That's annoying. This week there's not really that many good defenders. Probably Di Lorenzo. Joe, gone O'Reilly in so I could afford Mendes. Just want to say thank you for this stream. Look forward to them every match day. Good luck. Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate that. And I like those moves. Hopefully O'Reilly starts tonight and going forward for you. I think that's the only reason that I wouldn't go for him is because he's, put it in 8 Nuri is lurking. But yeah. Yildiz is a doubt, yeah, unfortunately. But not enough for me to transfer him out. If I put Vardiol and use Limitless, can I change him to someone else? If you've transferred in Vardiol and now use your Limitless, then yeah, that transfer will cancel. Who should be captain between Haaland, Yamal, Gurase? It would be Haaland, easy. I've got a whole captaincy video if you want to see the reasons why. That's over on the... Well, you can just click on my YouTube channel below. Will Foden and Vardiol start? Yeah, it is a tough one. I like Otamendi as a pick though. Sorry, I forgot a couple more injuries. Ben Sebaini, Spinazzola, Yildiz, Gabriel, Dumfries, Osimhen. Ouch. Yeah, I think this is the week then for you to Limitless. Because Ben Sebaini should be back next time. Spinazzola should be back next time. Yildiz should be back next time. Osimhen should be back next time. I think I would just Limitless there. And then you can worry about Gabriel and Dumfries next week. Should I get an Arsenal defender this week if I don't have one already? I think you can wait. I don't think you need one against Bayern. Yildiz isn't injured, no. It looks as though he might just be getting rested, which is a bit shit. Gatti is injured, so is Gutierrez. Sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Owamara Yomide. I hope that's right, I'm really sorry. Yeah, Gatti's injured and Gutierrez is also injured. Vardiol might not start, so maybe have another wee look at the defence. Dortmund defender, Real defender, Dortmund defender. Real are freaking running low on defenders. Is Gordon from Newcastle going to play? It looks likely he's going to be in the bench, but he's not a sell if you've got him, and that's what you're wondering. My midfield's Fermin Lopez, Yildiz, Çalhanoğlu, McTominay and Vitinha. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. There's no worries there. I think, again, this week is such a big week for injuries and benchings that, you know, even if your team's got a bad fixture, I think you've got to just keep them. Yildiz obviously supposed to get benched, but he's not a sell either. 4.9 million or less midfielder replacement for Mastantuono. There's not really a lot, to be honest. Your best picks maybe just going for Mayulu from PSG, but he's not going to be a good long-term choice. I think if you can, try and free up more budget to get a more expensive one, but it's a really hard one. What I would recommend is go... I can't remember exactly the ball recovery players, but see if you want to check any of my videos. I think the Limitless or the Wildcard guide, they've got the top ball recovery players. I'm sure there's a 4.5 million midfielder in there that you could go for, and that's probably going to be one of your better choices. I want to get Nuno Mendes for Gabriel. I think you could maybe just do Alvarez out to Højlund and then free up the budget to get Mendes in. Matheus Nunes or Van Dijk? I'd go Van Dijk. Schlotterbeck or Chan on Limitless? Chan. Best Rashford replacement for this week? Nah, I don't think it is going to be for this week because I feel like there's no reason to have Rashford. I would just go for Højlund or Gurase if you can afford them. 5 best midfielders on Limitless. I'm trying to remember back to my team that I made like an hour ago. It was Foden, Salah, Kvaratskhelia, Vitinha and McTominay, I'm sure. Where did you see Yildiz being doubtful? It was on the Sky Sports. Sky Sports Italy, who are normally fairly reliable. But that's it here. Any idea for sub for Burn from Newcastle? I don't think you need to at all. Burn's a great pick. What would you recommend to any City defender? Long term, I think it's too hard to try and pick one that's going to start the remaining 4 games. So probably not, unless you're going to, unless you're on Limitless, in which case maybe O'Reilly, or just go for Donnarumma and play it safe. Plans for this game week. I'm just making 2 transfers. Gabriel and Dumfries came out for Upamecano and Nuno Mendes. Scared of missing out on Mbappe, but currently have Kane, Haaland, Guirassy. Perfectly fine. Obviously just going to have to hope that Mbappe stays quiet, but that's a perfectly fine 3. Kane, obviously, ideally you would have Mbappe for Kane this match day, but Kane's a good option going forward that you're not going to want to miss out on either. No worries, Sam. Final decision on wildcard, Vitinha or Adeyemi? Vitinha. Who to get in for Alvarez then? 8.4 million. Used wildcard already and Limitless still available. I don't know if 8.4 million, it might be enough for Guirassy. If it's not, I guess Højlund. Can't really think of anyone else off the top of my head that's going to be good long term. 124 overall and did a -20. Wow. That's gonna suck as soon as the game opens up, and you see that overall. 124 is crazy though. Fair play. Already have McTominay. Is it viable to double up with Højlund? I don't mind it. I think I would rather have McTominay than Højlund, but if you are stuck for strikers, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. McTominay or Sané? I'd go McTominay. Alisson and Kenda or Kikir and VVD? I would go for VVD, but don't go for Kenda. I'm not sure who Kikir is, so it would be Kikir and VVD. Kenda, I don't think that is that great a pick anymore, unfortunately, due to his minutes. Vardy or Upamecano? Upamecano. Gordon or Yildiz? I mean, both of them are kind of in the same situation, so if you're wanting to go long term kind of thing, then Yildiz. But yeah, it doesn't unfortunately look like Yildiz is going to start. Thoughts on Gakpo up front, or should I pick Guirassy? I'll go Guirassy. It's too hard trying to pick a good Liverpool attacker. Kikir's the Galatasaray goalie. Yeah, that's fine. I think on a Limitless you can get better. But it's not bad. Vardy does well in the predicted lineup. He's benched, but you know, I can't really say anything else, unfortunately. One of the Limitless City defender I'd pick would be Nico O'Reilly. Is Nico O'Reilly in it? Yeah, O'Reilly. I don't think I'm going to bother about the 4:45 games today, by the way. They're both kind of meh. Galatasaray and Union SG. It would have been interesting if Osimhen was playing, or if I had Osimhen. Ajax Benfica I don't care about either. So maybe we should have to wait until the 8 PM games. Forwards are Kane, Mbappe and Alvarez. Seems fine to me. It doesn't look like Dembele will be starting. I think he'll be on the bench. Vardyell did the press conference, might be saying of a start. Potentially. Isn't a good Liverpool attacker anywhere. Yeah, no, I do agree. I think I would, on a Limitless, take a gamble on Salah. But, yeah, that's just because I don't really like any other midfielders. Burn or Chan? This week I'd go Chan. Gabriel to Mendes, Alvarez to Garassi, are they good moves? Have Yildiz? Yeah, I like both of them. And Yildiz I think is definitely a hold. That is my squad there, on screen. I think that was up. I hope it was up already. I'm going to have a look at the poll again. So we've got 31% of people now saying that they're not taking a hit this week. And 51% of people are using a chip. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to see what chip you're using. What chip are you using in Matchday 5? Limitless. Oh, that's not right. Considerations for Pavlidis. Ajax defence has been horrendous. Yeah, I think Pavlidis looks like a good pick this week. There's so many good differential attackers. I think Haaland and Mbappe are your two main guys, and then you can kind of just pick whoever. Garassi, Pavlidis, Højlund, Larson. Sell or keep? I would keep Elise on the wild card, and I would sell the other two. For Matchday 6, do I replace Kane for Mbappe or Haaland, or do I get rid of both and make other changes? I think, to be honest, out of Kane, Mbappe and Haaland, going forward, the one that I would want the least is probably Haaland, but it's really tough. I think I would want all three. Vitinha, Kvaratskhelia, pick Kvaratskhelia. Sell or keep Elise. I think I've already answered that one. Ruben Diaz, the safest option, probably. But, yeah, he's not really a great pick overall. On Limitless. Yeah, same answer. Gatti's injured. And Newcastle are a good defence against Marseille. So, probably Elise. Best captain today, Haaland. Take a punt on captaincy. There's not really a lot of good punts on captaincy tonight, to be honest, unless you've got a Cardi. Larson or Pavlidis? I like Larson. I'm a big fan of Larson this week. So poll has 50% of people on Limitless. Not that many people wildcarding this week. 50, 30, 20 split right now. Are you planning to get Kane next week? I think I might pass next week. And then maybe look to get him in Matchday 7. We'll see. But yeah, I think right now I'm maybe looking at passing on him next week, which I could regret, but I'm hoping that Elise covers at least. Or maybe I sell Haaland to get him. We shall see. Icardi looks good on Limitless. We're only at 9 minutes. So if you haven't locked in your team yet, make sure to get that done just in case something happens. I'm going to quickly look through some more info and see if we've got anything last minute. Maybe alright. Yeah, I think we're okay. No last minute lineups or anything like that. So yeah, 8 minutes to go. If you haven't locked your team in yet, lock those teams in. Lorenzo or Van Dijk for Gabriel, and McTominay or Yildiz for Fermin or hold. I would keep Fermin Lopez this week. Well, I wouldn't really, but if you've got injuries, then like I don't know if I'd take a -4. I would pick Lorenzo over Gabriel. Oh no, if you're talking about buying Fermin Lopez, I wouldn't buy Fermin Lopez either. And I'd keep O'Reilly. Gamble on 8 Nuri? Nah. Not until we kind of see some more minutes from him. I think that's going to be a bit of a waste, unfortunately. Sané, Yilmaz or Gundogan? Probably Sané, but a big shout for Yilmaz as well. Go on a card of captain to give me a reason to watch the early game. I like that. That's a very good idea. Sané, Bellingham or Vitinha? Sané for the upside, Vitinha because he's good. Salah or Yamal? On a Limitless, Salah. Guirassy or Rashford? Guirassy for sure, because Rashford isn't expected to be starting. I don't know what Joga is. If it means start, then Gordon, no. Doesn't look likely. Trini, we're getting the Newcastle clean sheet today. Don't be talking any nonsense like that. I need my Burn clean sheet. Icardi or Guirassy? Guirassy long term. If I'm going for a 1 week punt on a Limitless, I'm picking Icardi. -4 for Gabriel to Timber. I think that's probably worth it because Gabriel probably isn't going to play Matchday 6 either. Sorry Elvis, I've got no idea. I don't speak Portuguese. Salah has been bad this season. Why over Yamal? Because Yamal's not been amazing this season either. And Yamal's got a more difficult fixture. Salah could easily, out of nowhere, like Yamal's not going to get a hat trick against Chelsea. Salah very much could get a hat trick against PSV, even if his form isn't too great. Yildiz probably won't play. Guirassy or Larson on Limitless? Larson. O'Reilly or Nunez? You can go either way. I would pick O'Reilly myself. Yilmaz or Haaland cap? I think Haaland's easily the best captain today. Leverkusen are a lot worse than you would think on paper. But if you want a reason to watch the early game, as we obviously just seen, then go for Yilmaz and go for that differential if you wanna have Mbappe as your backup. Four minutes indeed. Let me just make sure I'm locked in. I think I am. Haaland captain, 26th of November. All good. Three minutes. 3 whole minutes. There's also more viewers in the stream than likes. So if you haven't liked the video yet, like the stream, make sure to jump down, leave a like before the deadline. Make sure you've submitted your team first though. That is the priority. And then drop a like on the stream. See how many we can get before the deadline. And subscribe too. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? You can talk and chat. There we go. Ondra Barta. Shout out to this legend who's subscribed. Get your name on screen. I want to see them pop up. Going with Pavlidis and Otamendi. I like it, Lucas. All good. Trincao, I like him too. It's a good punt. Doku or Sani on Limitless? I'd pick Sani. Foden should be safe. Yeah. Guirassy to Pavlidis, last minute change. You're going to regret that if Guirassy scores. But I don't mind it. They both look good this week. It's kind of just like a 50-50 one. It's football at the end of the day. You never actually know who's going to do better. Hell yeah. What was your captain question, John? Salah or Foden? That's a good question. Both, if you can, but I could pick Foden. Last minute, Vardy or Emre Can? Emre Can. Ajax haven't kept a clean sheet since August. Yeah, fair. Pavlidis definitely looks decent. Pavlidis, Sudakov, Otamendi, they all look nice this week. One minute to go. I'm assuming the 127 viewers in chat have already locked in their teams. Sam, best of luck to you as well. Hopefully it goes well. I can see it being a howler of a match day if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm not expecting big things. Gordon on the bench, Yildiz on the bench. Who else could be benched? Dan Burn will probably end up benched as well with Hall playing. Kuka, best of luck. And that's us. I think that is the deadline. Woohoo, another successful stream. Hopefully everyone got something out of that. I think that is us done. Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of similar. I've got 8 playing today, 2 of which should be benched. But yeah, that's what, 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you lasted the 2 hours and 45 minutes, fair play, because I am knackered. But that should be us. All good. Thank you all for coming out. Essence, thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. But I am going to head off, and I'm probably not going to watch the Galatasaray game. I think I'm going to have to do some graphics for my FPL videos for this week instead, and then I'll go watch the 8 PM games. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you all so much for coming out. Deadline stream as well for Matchday 6, 2 weeks away. Be there or be a huge square. Right, I'm going to go. Cheers guys. See you all in a bit.